San Antonio is buzzing with anticipation and excitement right now, and the reason can be summed up in two words: Victor Wembanyama. This 19-year-old basketball phenom already got the city on the edge of its seats, making his NBA intentions crystal clear right away. "I'm trying to win a ring ASAP." And with the young and talented roster the Spurs have constructed over the past few seasons, it almost feels like they knew he was coming. 25 years after securing Tim Duncan, the San Antonio Spurs have once again been blessed by the basketball gods with another generational big man. This time, the prodigy is Victor Wembanyama, an even greater talent than Duncan, who many NBA experts hail as the most outstanding young player to ever enter the league. To fully appreciate the magnitude of Wembanyama's exceptional talent, one must delve into the specifics. Imagine Wembanyama beside the tallest player in the NBA today, Boban Marjanovic, a giant in his own right. But guess what? Wembanyama stands even taller. This young man, a 7'4" colossus, executes double crossovers into spin moves with the grace of an agile point guard. It's a spectacle that leaves even the most seasoned fans astounded. But the Spurs had a strategy. After concluding the 2021-22 NBA season with a 34-48 record, they pulled off a trade that can only be described as a stroke of genius. In a whirlwind move, they traded their best player DeJounte Murray to the Hawks, and in return, they acquired 3 first-round picks and Danilo Gallinari, who was waived by the Spurs a week later. And as expected, with these newly acquired picks, coupled with the conference worst 22-60 record this season, their master plan paid off. They secured the first pick in the upcoming draft, which is unquestionably set to be the highly sought-after Frenchman. Among some of the awe-inspiring feats this young star has already accomplished was a dazzling display of 7 3-pointers in a single game against Scoot Henderson and the G League Ignite. During the 2 exhibition games, Wembanyama averaged a staggering 37 points, 8 rebounds, and nearly 5 blocks with 50-50 splits, numbers that even NBA players would envy. Offensively, he's a comprehensive package, possessing an extensive arsenal of post moves. He can back down defenders, get to a hook shot, hit one-legged fadeaways, has an impressive 3-point shot, and can even execute the Hakeem Olajuwon signature move, the Dream Shake. To be honest, his skill level and fluidity on the court sometimes seem more supernatural than human. Wembanyama is fast, and also poses a threat as the roll man. His leaping ability and wide catch radius make him a formidable opponent. He also has a knack for drawing fouls, and his rebounding skills are already incredible, particularly with his impressive tip dunks. He's also surprisingly quick for a big man, and great at covering the court. Imagine him bringing the ball up the floor, executing an in-and-out crossover into another crossover, followed by a spin move fadeaway. Such agility in a player his size is nothing short of amazing, and something that has never been witnessed on a basketball court before. Not to forget, this guy also has incredible skills when it comes to passing the ball. Sure, he's huge, but he's got the vision and precision of a seasoned point guard. With his height, he can see over the defenders and make those difficult passes. It's almost like an NBA 2K cheat code. But Wembanyama's multifaceted skill set extends far beyond his proficient offensive abilities. He's also demonstrated himself to be a formidable presence on the defensive side, intimidating opponents with his monstrous stature and agile movements. He can be anywhere on the court, getting rebounds and disrupting plays. His large 7'8" wingspan makes him a great shot blocker as well, and his mobility allows him to defend effectively in open spaces. He's also a solid free throw shooter, which is indeed a handy bonus. Despite his strong game, there are areas for improvement. He tends to opt for jump shots often and needs to build more strength to withstand the physically demanding NBA games. Sometimes he doesn't sprint the court as required and has a tendency to get into foul trouble. Also, since turning pro in France last year, he's been struggling to attack closeouts efficiently, but this is already being improved. In the French L&B Pro A-League this season, Wembanyama dominated the court, averaging 22 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game. In fact, he notched the highest block numbers in French league history and led the league both in points and rebounds. Subsequently, Wembanyama won the French League MVP award, the youngest winner in its history. He also secured the titles of Best Scorer, Best Defender, Best Young Player, and Best Blocker, as well as a spot on the All-League First Team. However, the Spurs aren't putting all their eggs in the Wembanyama basket. They have a fantastic core of young talent like Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, and the highly skilled and interesting Jeremy Sohan. Especially the duo of Wembanyama and Sohan could be a formidable force on the defensive side of the court. We've already seen Sohan's impressive defensive capabilities this NBA season, and we all remember how he managed to throw one of the league's best players, Luka Doncic, off his game last season, right? This is just how Sohan operates, playing the game with great intensity defensively but also offensively, which became evident during the last stretch of the season, where he averaged nearly 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. While Wembanyama is quite rightfully the talk of the town, there's another player on the Spurs roster who will play a crucial role in the team's success: the point guard and floor general Tre Jones. He might not have the staggering statistics of a superstar, but he provides a critical element to this young and exciting Spurs team. He's a great decision maker, an excellent passer, and Jones boasts a phenomenal assist-to-turnover ratio, indicating his ability to run an offense efficiently without making mistakes. That's precisely the kind of player you want to pair with a phenom like Wembanyama and the rest of the young, talented Spurs roster. Outside of basketball, Wembanyama seems like a well-rounded and interesting individual. He actually enjoys the quiet, simple life just as much as he loves the game of basketball. His agent, Buna Ndiaye, says Victor is a cultured individual who enjoys painting and listening to classical music. He's creative at heart and enjoys spending time with his family. Something tells me that this young man is going to fit in perfectly with Pop and the entire Spurs organization. But Wembanyama is still young. He's got a lot of learning and growing to do, and the NBA is teeming with experienced, tough players who won't make it easy for him. But if what we've seen so far is any indication, Wembanyama is more than ready for the challenge. It's also worth mentioning that even though Wembanyama is considered the greatest prospect of all time, there are some doubts about his long-term durability due to his unique height and slender frame. NBA players over 7 feet usually have careers plagued with injuries. Since 2000, 138 players 7 feet or taller have been picked by teams with lottery selections, and they've missed a quarter of their career games due to injuries. This is something the Spurs need to keep in mind before drafting Wembanyama. The San Antonio Spurs have meticulously built a robust team, comprised of promising young talents who are poised to make an impact in the NBA. Their first pick in the upcoming NBA draft was just the incredible icing on the cake. For those of you wondering how the Spurs got so lucky, it's a blend of astute decision-making and good old-fashioned luck. But most importantly, they've demonstrated patience. Building a team isn't like cooking instant noodles. It takes time. You need to both trade and draft wisely, develop the players, and create a system that brings out the best in everyone. And the Spurs with Pop at the helm have accomplished just that. As we anticipate the next NBA season, Spurs fans have every reason to be ecstatic. Victor Wembanyama, Jeremy Sohan, Trae Young, Keldon Johnson, and Devin Vassell make up a solid core of young and exceptionally talented players. Hopefully Coach Pop can mold them into a formidable team, and one thing is for certain, the world will be watching, and I can't wait for them to get started. Another team that's gotten the attention of the world this season is the NBA Finals-ready Miami Heat. They had a slow start to the season and somewhat luckily just made the playoffs. However, in the postseason, they have been nothing less than formidable, convincingly knocking out the best teams in the Eastern Conference. I made a video about their incredible run, their key players, and how they surprisingly managed to make history by reaching the NBA Finals. Check it out.